Hey boys and girls, the Junkman here, coming at you with my first DVD video series. This DVD is going to be one of my first productions for all of you who have requested that I put my videos on a DVD so you can sit in the comforts of your lazy boy and in front of your big screen TV and watch me do my thing. So this is the first of those DVDs. I don't know how many I'm going to put out. It depends on the demand. If people keep craving them, then that's what I'll do. I'll just keep putting them out. So that's what this is going to be about. And I'm going to do some polishing or paint correcting in this DVD. Now, in all my previous videos, I have harped on technique, trumping product 24/7, 365. The product that you use is only important to a degree. Of course, you don't want to use crappy products, but you can use the best product known to man, and if you use a crappy technique, that product will not perform the way you want it to. So technique is extremely important when it comes to paint correction. Now, I'm gonna do something unique in that today we are going to work on a laptop. Now, let me see if y'all can see this. I'm gonna take this and put it closer to the screen, but I'm wondering if you all can see the damage there. But basically, this satellite laptop, 17-inch screen, I'm actually sending it to someone who needs a PC. They're a Mac user and they need a PC to run some software to fix their Corvette. So I'm sending this to them. But it is painted with paint and clear coat. So it's just like your car. It's got a base coat and a clear coat on top of it, which gives it a beautiful finish. Now, the finish is scratched all up. I mean, I do not treat my laptops the way I treat my Corvette. So the finish is all messed up on this thing. It's got a million swirls in it, and I'm gonna bring you in close and let you see that. But this is what I'm going to work on. Now, I'm also, since I always make these for the novice, I'm going to use the PC 7424 XP polisher, which is this puppy right here. And something I always do is put it close to the screen so you can read the label and you don't have to remember what I said. You can just write that down, okay? So this is the polisher that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to flip the script on you all in the polishes that I use. And you've seen me use a couple of different brands. Here's a brand that you've never seen me use before. It is by Optimum, and it is called, and this is their new formula, Optimum Compound. Get it in there close so you can see it, see the label. All right. This is their Optimum Compound. This is similar to M105, okay? Then I'm gonna follow that with Optimum Polish 2, okay? And this is similar to M205, okay? So there are a bunch of detailing supply companies out there that, and they pretty much all use the same technique for fixing your paint. You've got the heavy compound, you follow it with a polish, you put wax on it, you're done. I mean, it's just that simple. You've got M105, M205, and then wax sealant, whatever you want to do. Optimum compound, Optimum polish, and then whatever wax sealant you want to do. It's the same exact process. Now, one thing about Optimum's products is they have these compounds and polishes in that kind of lotiony thickness. But they also have two other products that do the same exact thing, and they are called, and let me get it up to the label real quick here, or to the screen. It's their Hyper Compound and their Hyper Polish. Now, here's the difference. Notice, spray bottle, okay? Spray bottle and squeeze bottle. Okay, that's the first thing you notice. Now, what's the difference in the product? Well, the way you use them is going to be very similar. You use the compound first, you use the polish second, wax sealant of your choice. I should say sealant wax of your choice, because that's the order that they go in. But one thing that Optimum, the head guy in charge, told me is that their polishes, and this is a treat for you guys without garages, their polishes and compounds can be used outdoors in direct sunlight to a degree, okay? And that degree meaning if it's blazing freaking hot outside and the surface of your car is blazing freaking hot, don't be out there polishing in that. We're talking, you know, I don't want to give a temperature, but you're going to have to use a little common sense on a day when it's comfortable outside. So that could be 70 degrees, you know, where the humidity is low, not sticky where, you know, it feels like the heat is like, got his arm all on you, be like, what's up? If the heat's like that, don't be out there working in it. So, but that's their claim to fame, is that their polishes can be used outdoors in direct sunlight. Now, you can attempt to use a lot of polishes that way, but it will create dusting like crazy. So that's why you don't want to do that. But I am going to actually try this outdoors in the sun on another video. But on this video, I just want to tell you that the difference, these, the Hyper polishes and compounds are liquid. I mean, they are like runny liquid, okay? And the other compound and polish are like thick liquids. Now, the difference is, with this being runny like it is, this will probably be a lot more friendly outdoors than the regular stuff. Now, performance-wise, we're going to find out just how good they are when I do my video outdoors. But for indoors, right now I'm in my garage. It's 80 degrees inside my garage. And it's cooling down slowly since I got the garage doors open, and it's at night because I don't work in the blazing hot sun. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the regular compound and polish to fix this laptop. Now, of course, I'm going to have me some pre-mixed infinite use detail juice by Gary Dean's products. I've got my towels, my waffle weave style, as well as one of my Korean made towels. Of course, I'm not going to use my good Zano towels. I only use my Zano towels on my car and somebody else's car who done paid me $1,000 to fix. The Zano towels, they don't come out for nothing else. What else are we going to have? The polisher. Oh, now here's another thing I'm going to do. Now you see the back plate on here. You see how big it is. This is the 6-inch back plate. I showed in one of my other videos. We're not going to use this to buff on this laptop. One of the reasons is it's too big. And another reason is, and this is important because I'm going to be really demonstrating pressure in this video, I'm buffing on the part of the laptop that contains the screen. That contains the screen, 17-inch screen. Like, I don't know, they might be cheaper now. It's probably like $170 to replace that screen. I'm not trying to break the screen. So my pressure, the amount of pressure that I apply is going to be extremely important. And what you're going to see is I'm not going to apply that much pressure. I usually do 9 to 14 pounds of pressure. I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to use the weight of the polisher to fix this. That's what I'm going to use, the weight of the polisher. I'm not applying any pressure whatsoever when I do this. So, and we're going to see what kind of results I get. I'm going to let the polisher do the work. What I am going to be using, let me grab them here. You can tell this is a brother in this garage production, just all out of frame, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to be using a orange Hex Logic pad, there you go, and a white Hex Logic pad. Notice it's just like the pads that you see in my other videos, only these are 4-inch pads. Now, in order to use a 4-inch pad, these are made by, I believe these are made by Buff and Shine. Chemical Guys is one of the places I know that you can get them. There's other places for you guys in the UK. There's places that I think Detailing Club sells them for the UK. But there's different places you can get it. Just do a Google search for Hex Logic. Hex Logic, H-E-X Logic. And you'll probably find them. Now, in order to use these pads, I've got to use a 4-inch backplate. Now, it's not exactly 4 inches. It looks like it's 3 something. And these pads are they might be 4.5. I ain't gonna measure them. But they just considered 4-inch pads. But this backplate is made specifically for this size pad. So I'm going to be using it hook and loop, or Velcro as it's called. The trademark name, that is. But they can't use that name. They have to call it hook and loop. But I'm going to be using that. And in order to use this 4-inch pad and hook it to my porta cable, there's a little adapter that I have to use. See, this screws into the pad, like so. Yeah, right there. And then this part screws into the porta cable. See, it's got threads on it too. So that screws into the porta cable. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using, again, and people say, well, you sure repeat yourself a lot in the videos. And then I go, then why y'all ask me the same old question over and over again when I say it over and over again in the video? So that's why I repeat myself so much. Because people, I'm like, what y'all doing when y'all watching the videos? Never mind, don't tell me. Again, I'm going to be using Optimum Compound. All right, Optimum Compound. Okay, and I'm going to be using, following that with Optimum Polish. All right, Polish 2, Compound 2. This is their new revised remix of it. I'm going to be using 2 4-inch hex pads, orange and white in color, Hex Logic pads. I'm going to be using a adapter. I forgot to tell you where I got this from. This adapter, I believe I got this at McGuire's. Because we have a mirror glaze distributor right here in my city, about 3 miles from me, and so I can get this kind of stuff. But it's just a 4-inch plate adapter. You can also get it at Chemical. I've seen it on Chemical Guys. And if you buy a pad kit where it comes with, it'll come with the orange, white, and black for wax and sealant. If you buy a kit, it'll come with these adapters, okay? Or the back plate will come with the adapter. So that's what I'm going to be using. There's all kinds of different kinds of adapters. Some of them don't have the 2 pieces. Some of them, it's all made 1 piece. So it depends on where you get and what kind you get. So I'm using that. I showed you my towels. We're using the porta cable, 7424 XP. And that's pretty much it. So now what I want to do, and you have to work with me here, I'm going to position the camera. Actually, I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to hold the laptop. And I'm going to try to get it at an angle where you can see all the damage in the paint. And so in order to do that, what I need to do is I need to hold this thing next to the light, bounce the light into the laptop and into the lens of the camera. That's how you see swirls and stuff. If you reflect the light from whatever source you have into the paint and directly into your eyes, I don't care what kind of light source it is, you will see the swirls. You don't need any special kind of lighting, because I see all kinds of lighting out there, people wasting their money buying these fancy lights. You don't need that stuff. I can do this with a fluorescent bulb, okay? So you just have to know how to look at the paint. You look at a light source through the paint, and the second you do that, every swirl in that paint will show up. It don't matter what kind of light source it is, all right? So let me, it's at night, so I can't see any hot chicks walking by. Bummer. So let me stand up here, put this where I can get the light in the laptop and let you see the damage. So here we go. Y'all know I don't like to do a whole lot of editing, so we just gonna make this work. So let me let me flip the lens around so I can see what I'm doing, or the viewfinder. Okay, let me see here. All right, there's the light. See, that is my halogen light right there. You can see the halogen light in the reflection. So the camera is looking directly at the light. Notice I got a dead center frame. This is just like what your eyes would do. The camera is looking at that light through the reflection of the paint, and every freaking swirl in the paint is showing up right now. You see that? Look at all that damage. See that? It's that simple. I'm not using any fancy, like these halogen lights, I think they cost 24 bucks. I think is what I paid. It's 2 of them on a stand, 1,000 watts. 500 watts each. I can see every scratch, swirl in that paint. All because I know how to look at the paint. Look at that. Look at that. You can't see that? See, when you're at the supermarket at night and you glance back at your car because you think it's looking all good and stuff, and then all of a sudden you miraculously see all this damage, that's because you're looking at the overhead lights through the paint. And that's how they all reveal themselves. Because I get guys talking about, I can't see the squirrels. What kind of light do I need to buy? You don't need to buy no kind of fancy light. All you need is light. That's why sun works, incandescent bulb works, flashlight works. That's all you need. You just need to know how to look at your paint. If you know how to look at it, you can see every swirl in it. So you see, I've showed you every swirl on this half because I got it blocked off because I want you to see the before and after. Okay? So let me put you back on the tripod. Yeah. Flip my viewfinder around. Yeah, alrighty. Okay. All right. I think I did a pretty good job there. All right, so that's the damage that we're going to fix. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set up the polisher. We're going to work with the polisher on a speed of 5, which is speed I never work above 5. And I'm going to show you how to take off the old back plate, put the new one on. So let me dip the camera down here. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay. Okay, there you go. That's good enough. All right. Here's the polisher. All right. And should I scoot up closer? I should. There we go. Now, I need my 74-24 wrench, PC 74-24 wrench. If you ever lose this, it's kind of a bummer deal, but you can find them online. Just do a search for PC 74-24 wrench, and there are places out there that sell these for relatively cheap. But it's up to you to know how to put your back plate on and take it off. So I tried doing this once on film, and it was kind of hard to do, which is kind of like what he's doing right now. But what I'm doing is, I've got this locked around the spindle, and I'll show you that once I get this off. So now I'm going to take the back plate off, and it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm going to turn it counterclockwise, and the back plate is off. And on my back plate, let me show you this. The back plate is off. On my back plate, I use 2 washers so that I can get my wrench in there and get the back plate off. Because if the back plate is sitting too close to the PC 74-24, then you won't be able to get the wrench in there to be catching the blues trying to do that. So that's why I'm using 2 washers, and so that you can see how thick they are. They are not really all that thick. That's why I'm using 2 instead of 1. All right. See that? Okay. So don't ask me where I got them because I don't even remember. I just know what I need. So I'm going to put that to the side. And now let me show you what I did to get that off. I had to put the wrench in here on this free floating spindle assembly shaft and hold it while I turned the back plate. That's how I got it off. So I held this in place and then turned the back plate with my hand. That's how I got it off. Now, I'm going to assemble my back plate that I'm actually going to be using. And there's the back plate. All right, hook and loop, Velcro. Here's the shaft. I'm gonna put this in here like so. All right, okay. And then I'm gonna use a number 17 ratchet or wrench, number 17, as you can see. Cause somebody's gonna say, "What size is that?" And I'm gonna be like, "Come close." Be like, "Come close to the screen." So, and then I'm gonna use that to tighten this up. Let me see if I can use the ratchet side. Yeah, that figures. Okay, so I'm gonna tighten this up. Okay, it ain't gotta be 800-pound gorilla tight, just really snug. All right, so now I've got that put together. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab the PC 7424 and I'm gonna put this in here. Now you have got to be cognizant of what you're doing when you go to tighten this down. Now I'm holding that with my thumb. Notice the part that I'm holding with my thumb. And then I'm turning this top part with my fingers just to get this started. If you cross thread this, you really can screw up your polisher. So don't make that mistake. You gotta be very cognizant as you go to tighten this down to make sure it's going in straight. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and do it on my leg here. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and use the wrench. I'm gonna put the wrench in there to hold this assembly still. And then I gotta do this on my lap. I know this is kind of far away. And then I'm gonna tighten it up. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so I'm gonna turn it to the right. There we go. Turning it with my hand and actually the wrench too. Get them both going. And again, it does not have to be 800-pound gorilla tight. It just needs to be good and snug. And it's got a pretty long shaft on it, so I'm having to turn it more times than I thought I would. There we go. It just bottomed out. Oh, no, it didn't. False alarm. Okay, now it bottomed out. All right, so now it looks like so. All right, okay. Now I'm gonna start with my aggressive pad because those are some pretty serious swirls, and I'm gonna set that on there, and let's get it centered. There you go. Okay, press it down. Got my pad on there. All right, there you go. So that's how you put the assembly together. Now, I'm ready to start buffing. I don't have to do any claying because the laptop doesn't have any contaminants in the paint. Boy, the camera's kind of crooked because it's sinking. But I won't have to clay. I already baggy tested it just to make sure. But the laptop's in excellent shape as far as dirt is concerned. So, let me lean to the side here. Y'all looking at me all crooked. But now I'm ready to do some polishing. So let me fix this camera because it looks kind of crazy. Okay, so now I'm ready to do my first step. I've cleaned the laptop off. I'm going to pick up my compound. There it is, the compound. And thinking I need to put a little bit more light on here, but no, y'all can see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Let me add a little bit more light. Okay. All right, now y'all can really see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna polish this half of the laptop. Now, how much polish am I gonna use? This is actually gonna be kind of a trial and error for me, because I know how much is too much and I know how much is not enough, only because I can look at it and see what it's doing. I can look at the polish and see what it's doing. So first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I shake this up very well. With any polish you use, you wanna make sure you really get it shook up real well. So here we go. And now I'm gonna put some on here. And I am actually going to use, let me see here. I'm looking at how thick the polish is. And because of the area that I'm working in, I don't need a lot of polish. This is how much I put on there. 3 pea-sized drops. Just like I do on the big pad. 3 pea-sized drops. All right? Now, I need to prime this pad because it's a brand new pad. I ain't used it yet. So, in order to prime it, I'm going to dab this stuff around. And as I'm looking, I can see that's enough polish to do that whole section. Now, I'm going to crank this all the way down to 1. So I crank my polish all the way down to 1. And now I'm going to turn it on. And again, this is where the screen is. So I do not want to apply too much pressure and bust this screen. So here I go, priming the pad. Okay, now the pad has been primed. Now I'm ready to actually work it. Now, I'm gonna tell you that from experience, that doesn't seem like enough polish. And then plus it's a brand new pad, so I might need to get some polish in it. So I'm gonna add one more drop, which is 4 drops, which is similar to what I do on the big pad. So I'm gonna add another drop here, because this compound is pretty thick. Oop, wrong bottle. Okay, here we go, one more drop. There you go. Put my one more drop on there, get the angle right so you can see it. There you go. All right, so now I'm actually ready to start doing some polishing. Here I go on a speed of 5 with absolutely no pressure at all. Just the weight of the polisher. Okay. I'm looking at this polish. Let me show it to you. I am shocked at the fact that it ain't dusting up, because when I first dabbed it in, it looked like, oh, this is some thick stuff. I was like, this stuff gonna be dusting up. It is not dusting up. And to add more to that, the the polish hasn't, it's barely flashing, barely. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it off. I'm thinking I could work this some more, but it's barely flashing. But let me go ahead and wipe it off, because I can see it did a great job on the swirl so far. Now, here's the question that I get often when it comes, let me hold this in my knee so I can get a good grip. Here's a question that I get often. People say, well, my car is brand spanking new and it doesn't have any swirls in the paint. Can I just go to M205, or in this case, just the optimum polish instead of using the optimum compound? Here's the deal. And it is imperative, if you ask that question, you really don't understand this when you ask that question. Because the optimum, or any compound, is for removing paint damage. That's what a compound does. It removes paint damage. If you have no paint damage, then you don't need to be using a compound. You can go straight to a polish. Now, here's number two. A polish will remove very minor paint damage. That's what a polish will do. Compound is heavy polish, or compound is heavy damage. A polish is light damage. So here's the deal. If you use a compound and it does not get all of the damage out of the paint, why in the world would you then go to a polish? Because the polish ain't gonna fix what the compound couldn't fix. All right, so if the compound didn't fix it, going to a polish, that ain't gonna make it any better. You know, it might look slightly better, but if the compound does not remove all the damage, you need to keep using the compound. So either your damage is real bad or your technique is terrible. It's gonna be one or the other. So I'm looking at this now, and I can see major improvement. Let me get it in here, and you ain't gonna be able to see this because I'm not bouncing that light at you. I can see major improvement, but I still see major swirls. Not major, I still see minor swirls. So I'm gonna do another pass. And if this second pass doesn't work, this is when I might edit the tape and do as many passes as necessary until I get that damage out of the laptop. So here I go again. This time I'm gonna go with 3 drops of compound, and it doesn't take a lot. If 1x is good, 2x is definitely not better. Just like in medicine, doctor tell you take 4 pills a day, you take 8, thinking you're gonna speed up the healing. That ain't the way it works. It don't work that way in paint correction, and it don't work that way in medicine. So okay, so I'm gonna dab this around. Again, speed setting of 5, using absolutely no pressure whatsoever. All right, here I go with a second pass. Now, again, I cannot stress how impressed I am that this stuff is not dusting up, because this compound is pretty thick. That's some thick stuff. It's gritty as all get out, and it is not dusting one bit. I know that 105 would have been dusting by now. So, and I mean, there's still plenty polish. I'm looking at it at an angle. There's still plenty polish on there. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz this pad one time just to see how much polish I have on here. Okay, so that was one spritz, and now I'm gonna dab around. Not a whole lot. Let me do one quick pass. Let me see how it acts. Okay. It really didn't revive any more polish. So now I'm gonna wipe this off and take a look at it again. Again, this is the screen, so I can't be scrubbing on it. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead. There's still damage in this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and bring you all in, let you see this, and let you see how much difference there is between what I've done and what it looks like now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the necessary amount of passes necessary in order to actually fix it all the way. So here we go. Bring you all in and let you see now how much damage is remaining. Let me make sure this is focusing. It's the last thing I want to get up and find out that it didn't focus. It was focusing earlier. There you go. That time it focused. But look, 2 passes, look how much damage is remaining. There's still damage. See, you still see damage. It didn't focus. You still can see the damage, but it's a whole lot less damage than it was in it at first. That was just 2 passes. Now, let me bring you on this side. Look, see, that's the other side of the laptop. That's how much damage was on there at first. See that? That's the side I haven't done. But then you compare that to this side over here, and as you can see, it is significantly better. Significantly better. Okay? There you go. So now, let me put you back on the tripod. All right, now here's the deal. I will not go to the polish. The camera crooked. It's crooked as all get out. Okay. I will not go to the polish, because I'm using the compound right now. I will not go to the polish until all those scratches are out. That's the way it's done. Unless you can live, if you can live with it, you're like, well, that's my 20th pass and that's all that's coming out, so I'm gonna live with that. That's fine. You make the decision. But what I would do is I would keep going with the compound until all that damage is gone. Now, if I was doing this on a car, the advantage is I got different polishers I can use, polishers that are more powerful. But since I'm doing it on this laptop and I don't want to bust the screen, I'm not going to be pressing all hard on it, and I'm not going to be using a polisher that I need to use 2 hands with. So I'm able to control that with 1 hand. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to actually fix all that damage, and then we'll take over from there. All right? So here goes the pause. Okay, boys and girls, I have finished doing 5 passes with the Optimum compound, and I've got the laptop, that section I was working on, in pretty darn good shape. Definitely not perfect. To get it perfect, some of the scratches are deeper than I thought they were, but to get it perfect I would have to wet sand it, and of course wet sanding and electronics do not go together, so I'm not about to screw that up, mess up the laptop. So, but what I want to do is bring you in and show you what it looks like now, as well as allow you to see the definitive line from where I was working and where I stopped. Again, the only thing I've used is the Optimum compound. So let me do that. I'm gonna bring you in here. Let's bring you in here, let you see that light as it's being reflected into the laptop. Let's see here. Trying to make sure I get a focus. Okay, there we are again. Let's see here. Get a focus. Get a focus. Move the laptop. Okay. There we are. Now, let me move it around here. As you can see, there's a little damage down there. Still some damage on the edge right there. That's some polish I need to wipe off. This is where I did a lousy job wiping the polish off right there. Let me get the focus back. Tiny amounts of damage up there. But as you can see, for the most part, man, that's night and day difference. Trust me, that will translate to your car. Night and day difference. And I'm so hoping this is in focus. But now, check this out. Let's go over to the section where I haven't fixed it. Look at that. Now let's see if we can see the definitive line. Look at that. See that definitive line? A definitive line where you can see where I have fixed the paint and where I haven't. Look at that. Night and day. Now, here's what I want you to notice. Look at the line. Let me get it right here. Look at the line. Notice how the polish where the light or the paint where the light is lighter than the part that's still messed up. Notice that. Where it's still jacked up, the paint is it's darker. And the reason why is because, and I'm hoping you all are seeing this, I hope it translates. And the reason why is because the compound that I use beats the paint up something terrible. That's what compounds do. Fingerprints. That's what compounds do. They beat the paint up. In order to fix damage, they beat up the paint. So all the damage will be gone, but the paint will be dull. That's why you have to follow a compound with a lighter polish. The lighter polish fixes the beat up paint left behind by the compound. That is why it's a 1-2 punch. Watch me get that question 1,000 times. I'll get that question 1,000 times. That is why you do the 1-2 punch. The compound beats the paint up and removes all the damage. And then the polish comes behind it, and the polish removes all the damage that the compound did. That's why it's a 1-2 punch right there. Look at that. All right. So let me get you back on the tripod here. All righty. Okay, there we go. Whoa, that was scary. The Junkman in high def all up in your face. Okay. All right. So now, if that paint was perfect, if it was as good as I wanted it to be, if I was satisfied with that, which for this DVD I'm going to be satisfied with it, I would at that point and at that point only would I move to the polish. At that point and that point only would I go from 105 to 205, or would I go from optimum compound to optimum polish. Right there. At that time and at that time only. Once all the damage has been removed with the compound. It's like the 20th time I've said this. But people are going to ask me again. Once all the damage has been done or removed with the compound, you at that point move to the polish. And the polish removes all the damage left behind by the compound. It does not fix stuff that the compound couldn't fix. If the compound can't fix it, the polish is not going to fix it either. All right? The polish is much lighter than the compound. So, well, I'm a harp and harp because people just for some reason don't understand that. But that's the way it works. You use the compound until all the paint damage is gone, then you follow it with the polish, because the polish is going to fix the remaining damage left behind by the compound. And that damage is going to look like not scratches, not swirls. It's going to look like dull paint. That's all it's going to be left behind when you fix it with the compound. Dull paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just one pass with the polish, just to show you all how the polish cleans up the paint, how it brings that shine back, that, as I like to call it, spit shine back. So for the 1800th time, if the compound didn't fix it, the polish doesn't have a chance. All right? So you use the compound till all the damage is done, fix it, clean it up with the polish. Now, let me point you down at the laptop. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to polish this half of the laptop using a polish. So I'm going to take my orange pad off. When you take these pads off, make sure you get your fingers up under the pad, like so, and so that you don't pull on the edge, because you'll rip the pad doing it that way. So there's that. Now I'll find my white pad, which is right here up under me. Now, let me tell you this about these Optimum products that I am thoroughly impressed with. Man, this stuff has some long working time. It has some really long working time. I'm impressed with the fact that I was able to work it as long as I did without creating any dust. For you guys that are impatient and you're going to start using this stuff and it ain't going to give you the results as fast as you want to, you're going to start cranking the speed up past 5, which is incorrect. And then you're going to start using more polish, and then you're going to make this stuff dust up like you did not see it do for me. It did not dust up for me. Didn't dust up at all. I'm really impressed with how well it did not dust up. But if you screw up the technique, then you're going to be staring at dust. It ain't going to work the way it's supposed to. Pad going to be all caked out. Don't ask me why it's dusting up on you, because I just told you why. I just told you why. You're doing it wrong. If you are creating dust with this stuff, you're doing it wrong. Okay? Because I am. It's like I'm out here still sweating. What's the temperature? Temperature's it's still hot. It's still 80 degrees inside my garage. I'm out here sweating, and this stuff ain't dusting. So, I mean, I'm impressed with that. It's got some, that compound, I was working that stuff. I mean, you saw the first 2 passes I did. I worked that stuff long. Try working 105 that long. I worked it pretty long. 105, I would have been spritzing. Okay, this is a new pad. So I'm gonna do my 4 pea-size, whoop. I'm gonna do 4 pea-size drops on this new pad. However, one of my drops turned into 2 drops in one. So I'm gonna just use 3 here. But let me spread this around. Cause if the compound has a long working time, you can bet that the polish is gonna have twice as long, because the polish is nowhere near as thick. So let me go ahead and do a pass with this polish. I might end up cutting this short because I know this is going to work a long time. So, but we'll see. I'm priming the pad. I'm spreading polish all around the pad so that the pad is set up ready to do work. So, I can turn it down to 1 and do this, and then crank it back up to 5. I can do it either way. Depends on really what I'm working with as far as the brand. Some brands I can just dab around. Some I have to I actually have to do the little speed of 1 thing. And again, this comes with experience. You got to work with this stuff for a while and watch how to polish. You got to pay attention to what the polish is doing. It teaches you how the stuff's going to act. So here we go. Let me work it. Okay. Let's wipe that off and see what she looks like. Again, I can't wipe too hard because I don't want to damage this. Okay, what I'm doing right now is I got it, you can't see it, but I've got it banked into the light where I can make sure I got all the polish off this time. Okay, well, let's bring you all in. Okay, Here we are. Let me see. I gotta make sure this is focusing because I want you all to get this. Let me drop it down some here. Yeah, now we gotta focus. Look at this. Look at that. Now, let's look at the line. I know it was right by the edge. You can barely see the line. Or maybe you can see it real good. I can barely see it with my old eyes. But you'll notice that the right side is now much richer. Look at the pearl in the paint on this laptop. This was a very expensive laptop when they first came out. But you can still see a little paint damage. But look how pretty the paint is now. Look at that. Of course, remember, this thing was not taken care of properly or anything like that. Look at that. Is that some pretty paint or what? This is so hard to do, holding this at the same time. And I got this halogen light. It is roasting my head right now. Let me back up some. Look at that. Now let's compare that to where we haven't been. Look at all that damage. All that damage. And then where we fixed it. Night and day. Let's get you back on the tripod and let's make it a wrap. All right. So, what did we learn, boys and girls? We learned that technique trumps product 365 24/7. I use something you all have never seen me use, and I got the same excellent results that I always get. I knew I was going to. It's technique. I can't stress that enough. It's technique. So, and then I haven't used that product on those little pads before, so I had to guess on how much product to use. Just so happened I guessed right, and it worked. So just to recap, I'm using Optimum brand products. This is the compound, Optimum compound. All right, you have to shake this stuff up a lot before you use it. Got to make sure it's good and mixed up. I also used Optimum's polish. I followed it with Optimum's polish. Okay, and PC 7424 polisher. Again, for those of you who didn't write it down the first time, there's the information right there. Okay, I used it with a 4-inch pads and a 4-inch back plate. Technically, the sizes are technically different. This might be 4 and that might be 3.5, but it's considered 4-inch in the industry. Hooked to my PC. White and orange Hexlogic pads. I think they're, like I said, I think they're made by Buff and Shine, but you can't buy it directly from Buff and Shine. You have to go to one of their resellers, and I know Chemical Guys is one of them. I didn't really need that much detail spray, but I used that Infinite Use Detail Juice by Gary Dean. And I mean, that was it. If you didn't catch how this is done, you need to go back and watch the video again. Those of you who know, since this is on my DVD, this won't get uploaded to YouTube because I don't want people who buy the DVD I don't want everybody to have what the people who buy the DVD have. That's what I meant to say. So since this is going to be on the DVD, this is not going to be uploaded to YouTube, so that the people who buy the DVD will be getting something special. I guess that's it. If you need to ask me questions about this, go to YouTube and hit my Junkman 2000 account. That's my youtube.com/Junkman 2000, and send me a message through there if you have any questions about the DVD. That's how you get in touch with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this up, edit it. Great thing about it, I'm gonna do it in full 1080p. You know, it's funny. You all have been watching it now, but it's been in full 1080p. But that's the way it's going to be done. That's another little special treat for my DVD purchasers. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to look me up at my YouTube channel, and I'll answer any questions you have. If there's any videos that I have on YouTube right now that you want on DVD, let me know. I'll put them on DVD for you. Keep in mind that the DVDs are only 1 hour and 20 minutes long. So if you want a collection of videos that are more than 1 hour and 20 minutes, like my McGuire's 105 and 205, that's almost 2 hours right there. I'm gonna have to put that on a dual layer DVD. That's gonna cost you a little bit more. All right. I'll probably charge $10 more to do that, because dual layer DVDs, although they're cheaper than they used to be, like $10 each, they're cheaper now, but they still expensive. All right. They ain't cheap like regular 120-minute DVDs. So if there's any videos that I have on YouTube right now that you want on DVD, just shoot me an email, let me know, and you'll go through my PayPal account the same way you got this DVD, and I'll hook you up. All right. So until then, this is the Junkman signing out.